Welcome to another exciting episode of The Trading Bell, and this week on the program we shall be speaking to Geoffrey Odundo, the CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, a man who is right now steering the M-Akiba bond. How is it performing? What are the challenges? What are the optimism around this time as Akiba bond? Well, he'll be talking to us all this here on the program, but first let's take a look at his profile.
Geoffrey Odundo is the Chief Executive of the Nairobi Securities Exchange PLC. Mr. Odundo, an accomplished investment banker, has been in the financial services sector for the last 26 years, 20 of which have been in the capital markets in various senior roles in asset management, corporate finance and securities trading. He is currently a director of the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation Limited, director of the NSE Clear Limited and a trustee of the NSE Fidelity Funds. He is a member of the Central Bank and Consolidative Forum for Domestic Debt Market and a council member of the Institute of Certified Investment Financial Analysts. Mr. Odundo is also a director of the Association of the Stock Exchanges of Africa and is a member of the Thomson Reuters Africa Customer Advisory Network. He holds a master's degree in strategic management and an undergraduate degree in mathematics and economics. He is also an advanced management program graduate from Strathmore Business School.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. A pleasure to host you on the program. Let's just kick it off with a quick look at the M-Akiba bond. The government is very keen right now that they're doing the most recent issue. Perhaps what is the uptake so far? What is the sentiment in the market?
Thank you, Abby. So this is going to be the fifth offer of the M-Akiba bond. We started this whole program in 2018 with a debut offer of 150 million. But sequentially, we've been bringing out tranched issues, on average about between 150 and 200 million uptake on average. And this being the fifth offer, it really is the last offer because it's a reopening of an existing bond. And this bond has got 1 year to maturity. So we opened yesterday and we are offering 500 million to the public with an option for a green shoe if we get oversubscriptions. The rate is still 10% net of tax. And it opened yesterday and it runs until the 6th of September. So the previous issues, we've seen subscriptions over 75%, but we're very confident that this particular issue will attract a full subscription. The reason is that the interest rates in the markets have now gone below 9%, and hence a 10% net yield is very, very attractive to any investor who is looking to put their money away for a year. The knowledge and understanding of M-Akiba and how it trades has become a very, the knowledge and understanding has improved, and we believe that people now understand more of what M-Akiba has to offer. So we're very confident about this issue. We'd like to urge Kenyans to really, really take this uptake. It's a very rare offer to get a 10% yield for as low as 3,000 shillings.
Wow.
So that's what we are really looking forward to, and a very successful issue.
Quite a very good yield, I would say so.
Yes.
And Geoffrey, you talked about 75% on the fourth issue. What are your predictions with this issue?
I'm predicting a full subscription. And the reason we're saying that is we believe that the previous issues has been more about knowledge building and people understanding what the product is. The fact that people are also learning that the product trades in the secondary market, which means they can achieve a high level of liquidity, is a good benefit to this particular issue. The way the interest rates have been coming down in the recent past, again, is another advantage for investors looking at this. In the last issue, we also saw a large number of investors using the PesaLink channel, which allows you to take amounts in excess up to 1 million shillings. And that again would provide investors with that ability to ramp up the amounts they want. Some investors want to put something in excess of 1 million shillings. And so having that channel is really, really helpful. So we believe that with the right marketing campaign that we are now undertaking, the fact that we've built a very sound track record on the previous issuances, and the fact that this issue is coming in the market when rates are sub 9 and below 9%, I think it's going to really make this a successful issue.
All right. Right.
Right.
And Geoffrey, Kenya is hailed as one of the countries that had the first mobile traded bond. And what does this do, especially when it comes to deepening financial inclusion in a country where we are seeing there's a lot of foreign investor influence, especially in the securities market?
Right. So I must say that this is a really, really proud product for Kenya, so to speak, because being the only government retail bond in the world is no mean feat. It's a real milestone. And what we did when we came up with this issuance, we really took a bold move to really invent a financial instrument that could achieve a high level of inclusion. Never tried, never tested before. We've seen other countries issue offers on online and that kind of thing, but nobody had ever actually gone very disruptively to really go for a minimum size as low as 3,000, allow a bond that trades on a mobile phone, both in the primary and secondary market, and really, really build that level of understanding. I mean, surprising to us, and what we really call a success has been the subscription levels in terms of the account openings. The bond market for very long had only 18,000 investors for a very long time. M-Akiba has a total of 503,000 potential investors. So financial inclusion, it has been one of the most successful capital markets instruments in terms of a financial inclusion perspective. And even the distribution. When you looked at the demographics of this product, it has Kenyans all over the country, from Lamu to Mandera to Turkana. It just tells you that people have a lot of interest in financial markets. It's just the outreach and really the ability of accessing markets has been a big limitation. So I must say it's really supporting our aspiration to enhance financial inclusion, leverage on Kenya as a leading mobile country in terms of penetration,
Yes.
and really, really bringing all Kenyans to participate in wealth creation and wealth distribution for the country. So I think this is one of the most successful products we can be proud of as Kenyans.
All right. And Geoffrey, when you look at the big picture, this is of course a big milestone for the National Treasury, where they are able to capital raise from the public. At the same time, what should we expect now that we are on the final tranche, and what should Kenyans be looking forward to, especially now that you've already seen the excitement, you've seen the enthusiasm around the bond market?
I think for National Treasury, it's an add-on to the government domestic program agenda. And for them, they've been able now to come up with a product that allows a wider participation of the public. The government domestic debt program is currently majorly institutionally supported by banks, fund managers, insurance companies. But there was that missing link of the retail investor who we believe has got quite some wealth to invest in. And coming up with this bond was a very, very innovative way to enable them build that program. The future and success of M-Akiba will be demonstrated over time when we have monthly issuances that will be growing in size. The bond program in Kenya went through a similar journey where we had initial investors taking up small pieces, but today the level of uptake is amazing. We are seeing subscriptions of bonds of up to 50 billion. And I think M-Akiba will follow the same track record. It's just a knowledge enhancement required, people knowing that there's an alternative asset for you to really put your idle funds in. So we are very confident that with time, it'll become a key domestic borrowing instrument for the government. And as they issue their primary offers monthly, the M-Akiba will become a key constituent of that. I think the other thing that is going to be very a big achievement for the government is the fact that they will be able to involve more Kenyans in their development programs. This is an infrastructure bond. So as we are building our infrastructure, undertaking programs around the big four, the roads, the water, manufacturing, and and fundraising becomes a key component of that. Your ability to really raise money among a large number of people is will be very successful. Countries like Egypt, they were able to fund the expansion of the Suez Canal using retail investors, and I think that just demonstrates the power of the retail person. It's a very powerful segment of the market that can really, really build and support the growth of the government. Secondly, it also allows, when you're doing the interest payments, you're not just doing it to a small constituent of people, but you're doing it to a large constituents of people. So the distribution of wealth will also be improved through this kind of channels. And I believe this is what the government's aspiring to do. And as capital market partners, our role is also just to demonstrate that the partnership between private sector and government is working. And this is one clear demonstration of that.
From a regional standpoint, Geoffrey, of course, Kenya has one of the most robust exchanges in Eastern Central Africa. Of course, there's a lot of focus right now, especially when you look at the more advanced markets like in South Africa through the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, as well as Nigeria, which are sort of they're sort of our big brothers in this game. And from your perspectives, and when you look back and see the journey we've taken with M-Akiba, how best can we scale it up now that you're seeing there's a lot of cross-listing happening, there's a lot of interest even from the African countries that have a stake that they would like to have a share of what's happening in Kenya?
Yeah. So as the NSC and being a very key constituent part of the African markets, we drive the agenda in Eastern Central Africa as a key exchange in the region. Our aspiration is to encourage a lot of inter-Africa trade to start with, where exchanges and markets can actually have cross-border trades, a lot of cross-border trading through various channels. And I believe M-Akiba becomes one such model product that can actually be expanded beyond the region and first of all, into the regional markets and possibly into Africa. So we have opened the learning on this product to our partners in Africa. We've tried to, we've held forums where we talk about M-Akiba and the success of M-Akiba in various forums and platforms, and we are seeing a very interesting uptick. For information, a country like Zimbabwe launched a similar product to using the same technology that we have, and that's just encouraging to see that domestic markets in these other countries are looking forward to that. And this is part of our big aspiration to be a regional financial center, Nairobi to be a regional financial center, and we want to play our role. You recently saw we launched the derivatives market.
Correct.
Again, the second market in Africa to do that, just to provide investors with an opportunity to have what you call a two-directional market, where you can make money as you buy if you're going on the long side, and also if you sell, if the markets are going down on the short side. So that's just builds on that agenda. If you look at the companies in the market, the fundamentals are still very strong. I know we are faced with a bear run at the moment.
Sure.
But what we are excited about is that we are seeing a lot of international investors buying at these levels, which basically I think the domestic investors should take a cue. Because we're seeing net buy side, and really that just enhances the level of liquidity. We're very happy to see more cross listings. Bank of Kigali was an exciting cross listing. We're happy to see it has started trading, and we believe more and more companies will be looking at Nairobi to raise capital. And so I think the M-Akiba is one that positions Kenya at a very advanced level in terms of technological advancement of markets, the ability to come with innovative and disruptive products, and really bring a wider public into markets. So we are sharing the knowledge, we are sharing the technology ideas, and we want to build Africa as a key market in the world.
And Jeff, just before we wrap up, of course there's the diaspora market, Kenyans living and working abroad who also have a very big interest when it comes to investing back home. Are there avenues for them to jump on board this particular product? How are you reaching out to them? Are you planning to do roadshows? Because if you look at the diaspora remittances, they're now in the region of about over 250 billion. And of course, Treasury says the capital markets need to be very innovative when it comes to developing instruments that even the diaspora market can invest in.
Abi, that is quite the position we're taking. Today we have a wider reach in the international markets, even among the Kenyans in diaspora. This product is actually going to be accessible for Kenyans who have their lines, mobile telephone lines or accounts through PesaLink, wherever they are in the world.
Okay.
So we are reaching out to that audience as well. We are working with our partners in the with the community, Kenya's community living abroad, and all these organizations that they belong to just enhance outreach. And we believe that that's going to help us also increase the subscription into this product. So the marketing approach is multifaceted. We are going to be using a lot of our social media, our normal media, work with our partners in the stockbroking community, do a lot of calls to the international Kenyans living abroad, etc. Because our whole aspiration is to really broaden the composition of investors into this product. And we believe that we are providing a very attractive opportunity at this particular time.
Okay.
I don't think there's any competing financial instrument today that can beat M-Akiba from a return perspective. And so it's a good opportunity for everybody to plug in and for us to support them.
All right, Jeff, I know I'd like to get your closing thoughts, especially now on the issue of the shilling. Of course, as we are talking about the diaspora market, it would be unfair for me to end this interview without just getting your views on how the shilling has been performing. When you look at trading, it's now at about 103.38. And of course, you did mention you've had a bearer. Should investors be worried? Are the fundamentals right?
I said earlier, the market is highly discounted at the moment, and the prices are really at an all-time low in the last few months. We are expecting that it's going to be a good entry point, and we've seen the recent last 3 trading days. We've seen a net buying position from foreigners, which is a good indicator. Now, the shilling as based on where it is today, presents a very good buying opportunity for investors because they can get more shillings for dollars, and hence they can buy more stock. And that speaks volumes about what we are seeing as a net buy side improving. One of the very, very key thing that investors look for is really the stability of the currency, and within what standard deviation does it move. I think we're not in a position to worry about the standard deviation because it's really been holding well, and we are one of the countries in Africa who have a free floating currency, which is most important for them. Not just the fact that it's where it is today, but the ability for you to really get your money out when you require it is a very fundamental concern for investors, and Kenya has really been achieving that very well. Okay. So I must say that I'm very confident that the markets will turn extremely soon. The way these are all-time low valuations. Right now, the dividends on stocks is even higher than what money market assets are offering. So really, all the signs are right. It's just, I think the domestic investors need to take advantage of this very rare opportunity.
All right.
Because I think we're actually bottoming out.
All right. Interesting sentiments there, Geoffrey. And of course, many Kenyans are really looking forward to the M-Akiba as well as the October deadline for the new currency. I don't know, how will this play out, perhaps?
I think as a market, we've been, we put in place safeguards a long time ago as far as the actual amount you can put in the market in cash. Basically, right now, it's a maximum of $10,000. So it's been that way for a long time. So we are really not really affected by the rush to convert money, because really our markets, people trade by direct account transfers and that kind of thing. I still feel that we will be happy to see the retail investment segment grow. We want to see more retail in the market. We believe they provide the right level of volatility that the market can help grow. And with all these things coming together, it will be very interesting to see how the markets open up. And that's why I'm really, really making that rallying call to investors. This market is bottoming out. If you come in now, you'll make the money. Otherwise, you will look back and there's a risk of hindsight. We all have this hindsight thing of, I saw it come and I missed to board the bus. And so this is the right time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, this is the right time to bring it to a close also on the interview. Many thanks, Geoffrey Odundo, the CEO, NSE, just giving us some deep insights into the markets as well as the M-Akiba bond. which, as you've heard it from him, it's time to seize the opportunity and make hay while it lasts. Well, it's been a pleasure bringing you this week's episode of The Trading Bell from the Nairobi Securities Exchange.